Okay, welcome back. This is Mr. Hassan's Maths channel, and now answering question number 23 from the specimen paper for 2025, the new syllabus from the Cambridge International GCSE, the IGCSE 0580 syllabus. Here we have a question, and this is the non-calculated paper. We have a question about algebraic fractions. We have to write as a single fraction in its simplest form. All right, so when we want to add or subtract any fraction, what we basically have to do is make sure that the denominators are the same. So, for example, if I had the fraction, say, 3 over 5 minus, for example, let's say 2 over 7, and we wanted to subtract these fractions together, well, we would think of how to make the denominators the same. So we would look for the LCM of the denominators, okay, which in this case is going to be 35. That's the lowest number that 5 and 7 both go into, which in this particular case also happens to be what you get when you multiply them together. So we would then basically write this over 35 as a fraction over 35. We write this as a fraction over 35, and we say, okay, what do we have to multiply 5 by to give us 35? Well, that's 7. What do you have to multiply 7 by to give us 35? Well, that's 5. So the numerator here must also be multiplied by 7, so we get 21. And here the numerator has to be multiplied by 5, so we get 10. So we end up with 21 minus 10, okay, which is 11 over 35. All right, now this can be written, there can be another step to this. You can write this as 1 denominator 35 and 21 minus 10. You could think of it like that first and then get to this, same thing. Okay, so writing this and this are the same thing. All right, so that's basically the the procedure, the thinking behind subtracting or even adding fractions. Adding, you just add these numbers, the numerators in the end. Okay, so what works with normal types of arithmetic also works with algebraic arithmetic. So we want to now subtract these two algebraic fractions from each other, so we have to follow the same type of procedure. So we got to think of what is the lowest common multiple of these two terms. Well, it's what you get when you multiply them. So x minus 4 times x plus 3. Okay, so you could do it in this way if you wanted to. Okay, but I'm going to show you a slightly different way. So I've made the common denominator x minus 4 and x plus 3. Okay, so that's what this can become, and that's what that can become. What do I have to do to make this become x minus 4 times x plus 3? We'll have to multiply by x plus 3. Alright, so I must multiply the top also by x plus 3. So this becomes 3 times x plus 3. And what do I have to multiply this by to give you the same thing, x minus 4 times x plus 3? We'll have to multiply by x minus 4. So I multiply the numerator here by also x minus 4. So I end up with 4 times x minus 4, which then gives us the same denominator, which is x minus 4 times x plus 3. And then you have these on the numerator. And I'm going to write it like this for now so that we don't make a silly mistake. Okay, now, there's no problem if you go straight from here to here, missing out this step. Most people do that, okay? Most people will do that. So they'll think of this as basically, they call it cross multiplication, but actually what we're doing is exactly this. We're not really cross multiplying. That's when you have an equation. All right, so this is not cross multiplying, but this is basically doing this but missing out this step. So it looks like you're multiplying the x plus 3 by the 3 and the x minus 4 by the 4, and then multiplying these two together underneath. That's what it looks like. It looks like you're doing something like this. So you have a over b plus c over d. It looks like you're multiplying these two together. The d multiplies with the a and the b multiplies with the c. That's what it looks like what's happening. All right, but mathematically this is what's happening, and it looks like that's what we did. Okay, so just to keep it in mind, I want you to understand why we're doing what we're doing. So we're actually writing this out because we did this, and we don't have to write this step down if we don't want to. We could go straight from here to here, but you have to understand it's not cross multiplying. It's basically making the denominators as 1 and then multiplying this by whatever you have to do to make this denominator the same as the whole thing here, and multiplying this by multiplying the numerator by what you multiply the denominator by to make it become the whole thing here. And now the next step is very important, where a lot of students make mistakes. you have to multiply these, expand these brackets. So you have 3 times x, which is 3x, plus 3 times 3, which is 9. Now you're going to have minus 4 times x, which is minus 4x, and minus 4 times plus 4, which is plus 16. That's where people make mistakes. And another thing is, some people think, oh, we can cancel out this x minus 4, this x minus 4. We can cancel out the x plus 3 and the x plus 3. Well, we cannot do that, because this x plus 3 is not a factor of the whole numerator. If it was x plus 3 times the whole numerator over x plus 3 times the whole denominator, then we can cancel them out. But this x plus 3 is only multiplying a part of the numerator, so we cannot cancel them out. Okay, and this is all over. And now we don't need to expand the denominator, leave it as it is. We're only expanding the numerator here so that we can simplify these terms. Now we can simplify them here. Expanding this won't help us to simplify. In fact, it might stop us from simplifying, as you'll see when we check for what to do at the end. So you have 3x minus 4x, which is minus x, 9 plus 16, which is 25. Sorry, 9 plus, yeah, it's 25, sorry, over x minus 4 times x plus 3. Now, there's nothing that can cancel these two, so we can stop there. So if you want, we can make it look neat. Write it 25 minus x over x minus 4 times x plus 3. And there is our answer. Okay, so just a few little points of how we can understand how to do arithmetic with algebraic fractions. It's exactly the same thing that we did here, that we did there. No difference, except we have letters instead of numbers in there. Okay, so there's the answer for question number 23 from the specimen paper of 2025. Other questions from this paper can be found in the playlist, which will be appearing a link at the end of the video over here. Other questions from the topic of algebraic fractions, I'll put a playlist for that over here. You can see algebraic fractions. This is from the new syllabus questions. From the older syllabus questions, which are basically the same, you'll find a playlist here which you'll have lots more examples of, and they're all relevant. And you can subscribe to the channel by clicking on this link. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.